So I know that I did say that today's video was going to be a crew member breakdown, but that video is taking longer than I expected, and this video has been sitting in a folder for like over a week now. So I'm just going to upload this one today and we will do the crew member breakdown another day. But anyway, sorry, let's just get straight to the point. New Atlantis is clearly the biggest city that Bethesda have ever created, and before the Starfield Direct we dove deep into every single city, but now we've seen a lot more of each city and gotten a ton of new information. So of course today we are going to take a massive deep dive into New Atlantis and uncover more things that a lot of us probably missed while watching the showcase. So let's not waste any time and just dive straight into it. Literally just in the first shot of New Atlantis we can see how much the city has been improved upon, but the first thing that I'm going to talk about are these posters here. We have one poster that says something among the stars, a horror-like poster next that says a universe of leisure, another poster that says good, young, attractive, fresh, possibly a poster for surgeon that can, change our face. But if we continue looking around during this shot, we can see that there are over 20 NPCs just walking around here, and this is just one tiny part of New Atlantis, really showing how populated it truly is. Now in this next shot we can see the Bank offices, which we did see in the last showcase, but it wasn't really a good shot of it, you kind of had to look for it, but we do know that Bank is the company that we can buy a house from the Dream Home background, where we can start the game in debt to them. Now we do know for sure that Bank is probably owned by the United Colonies. Now in this next shot it does look like some kind of sandstorm weather, possibly not, but that's just what it looks like to me, and sadly there isn't too much to point out here, besides the fact that we can see very far off into the distance, and I think that this might be a ship up here and a little building down here, but again we'll just have to wait to find out. Now in this next shot we can see what appears to be a food store, but zooming in a little we can see these weird mannequins floating in this odd stand thing. I really am not sure what these are for or what they're supposed to be. Maybe you can buy the clothes they're wearing. We'll have to wait and find out, but we can also see someone sweeping the floor here, someone looking at the food here, and someone else checking out the mannequins that I just pointed out, really showing how much Bethesda have put life into this city. Bethesda have always been great at making cities feel sort of lived in, and I think that they've really stepped it up with Starfield. Now moving on to this next shot, we again see over 25 NPCs walking around this one tiny spot, which is just absolutely great. I really love how populated New Atlantis is, but if we zoom in on this sign we can see that it reads "Notice to visitors, no entry for passengers without valid visa for interplanetary passage." Now that is actually really interesting because we do know that we can get a United Colony citizenship pass in the game, so I do have to wonder if it's somewhat connected. Unfortunately there's not much else to see here, so let's move on. Now I have pointed this scene out before, but we can see the SSNN here, aka the Settled Systems News Network. Now I'm really hoping that this is something we can actually watch or listen to on our ships. Todd Howard has mentioned that there is some kind of radio in the game. Maybe we can listen to it or watch it through our watch, like we can listen to radio stations for our Pip-Boys in the Fallout universe. But we sadly aren't sure. But one thing I do want to point out is this water lake thing here. I think this might actually be glass, as we can see people standing on it. Maybe there's water underneath. Again, we'll have to wait and find out. Well, there isn't much else to see in this next shot besides these guys that look like they're being taught something or read a story or something like that. Perhaps this lady with the book is a professor, but I do want to mention this art, I guess we'll call it. We have a lot of stuff like this around New Atlantis, and I just think it's a really cool aesthetic. And next, this is actually one of my favourite shots in the showcase. We see a Colony War memorial from this cute little helper robot, and we can see some candles and flowers down here. I do wonder if we'll actually be able to see NPCs coming here to leave some flowers. I did read all of the names down at the bottom, but we sadly don't know anybody here, at least from what I recognise. However, if we zoom off into the distance, we can see a poster here with two fish and someone with what looks like a nuke in their skull. I have to wonder if this is a sign trying to sort of warn people that Aurora, the fish drug from Neon, is dangerous or something along those lines. This scene is just beautiful. I really love this shot. We can see the walkways, the fire, the water here with the glass banisters. I just absolutely love the look of New Atlantis. It has a weird cozy feeling to it, if that makes sense. I really hope that we could buy a house here, and if we can't, modders, you know what to do. And again, one of my favourite shots from the entire Starfield Direct. I love the look of standing on this balcony watching the sunset. We can actually see another balcony here, which I believe is a part of the hotel, which we will get to a little later, but off in the distance we can see what looks like some buildings too. Of course, here we see a coffee store that sells bakery goods, donuts, desserts, coffee, etc. But what's funny is we can see these little tap to start machines. This could be how we purchase food or drinks here, rather than talking to the lady vendor like we're used to in Bethesda Game Studios games. Although I'm willing to bet that we can still talk to her, maybe ask her if she's heard any rumours lately, and all of that usual Bethesda good stuff. And we can also see up top that this place is called Terra Brew, probably saying that they make like original coffee that we had on Earth or something. What's great about this place is that we can see out of the window, which is new for Bethesda games, and there's a wide open door, meaning no loading screens. Yay for Creation Engine 2. Now in this next stunning shot of the city, we can see a little spaceship flying overhead. Todd has confirmed that quite often we'll be walking around a city and you'll just hear thrusters starting up, and then if you look up you'll see ships taking off or landing in, and down here we can see the Colony War Memorial, and it looks like the same robot is still down here, so maybe he just patrols this one tiny area. Now in this shot we sadly don't have any confirmation about these flags. These are the only places that they appear in the showcase. But what I do want to point out is this lady here who looks like she's wearing a white cape, so cape's confirmed I guess. But anyway, going back to the flags, I have seen some theories on Reddit that these are to do with factions, but I personally haven't seen any evidence towards that, so I mean if anyone has any evidence, please do let me know in the comments. But we don't actually see any new information or secrets or anything hidden here besides that weird freaky creature that just ran off screen, but of course this is a massive shot of New Atlantis, really just showing how big it is. And finally we do get this clip of the beach, which again looks beautiful. This whole city really just looks gorgeous. But anyway, with the hotel that I mentioned, I do believe that the balcony I pointed out is a part of this hotel, just because the buildings look a little bit of the same. But if we actually zoom in, we can see some stuff on the rooftop of this hotel, so maybe we can get up here too. But going back down to the beach, we see another helper robot, which makes sense as Todd Howard has said that most robots in Starfield are just workers, so this dude is probably like a waiter or something. And of course in this next shot we see more of that weird art aesthetic that I mentioned earlier, and of course running at us is Mr. Hobo Robo from the Discord.
I've got to have every molecule.
Anyway, moving on. Here is where we go to customize our spaceships or buy new ones, and we can see this little kiosk thing. These are actually in every single city. My guess is that these will give you some very quick information on the city's history, lore, places to visit, things to do and stuff like that. Now it's not actually clear if the viewport, aka this place, is actually in New Atlantis, but it very much looks like it is, so I'm just going to include it in here. This is where we're going to go to, you know, find new crew members to come and work for us basically. Anyway guys, that is pretty much everything I found. Please do let me know in the comments if I missed anything or if you found anything, and if you enjoyed the video, I kindly ask that you leave it a like to show your support for myself and the channel as a whole. And hey, if you're new around here and you're looking for a place to stay up to date on Starfield news, leaks, discussions, breakdowns and so much other open world RPG content, this is absolutely the place for you, so consider subscribing. I'd appreciate you. And as always, a giant thank you to the channel members, you guys rock. Thank you so much for sticking with me month after month. But with all of that said and done, I thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you on Thursday for our next video. Peace.